everyone, and welcome to the show. Welcome to the end of your week. Congratulations, you all made it. I'm Paolo del Rosario. Let's get you up to speed with some news that you could use right now.
Happy Friday! I'm Monique Tuzon. Anytime is a good time, especially today, because it's Mo Fun with us. Join us in the next hour and a half for stories and conversations that matter. I'm so sorry, Pao. I read the wrong message. That's why we're not matching today.
It's fine. Blue and green.
I thought it was blue today.
They famously go together.
Yeah, okay lang. We made it work, kinda.
Sure.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's funny because alam ko kulang tayo, right? Kulang tayo because Anne is out in the States, wherever you are, Anne.
Hello. Don't forget about us.
But of course, we have our honorary fourth host coming on the show
Doc
later.
Albert. So
Yes.
we're so excited. We have him via Zoom. Finally, it's been so hard to actually get our fourth host here.
Yeah, si Doc Albert Domingo. For those who haven't followed the show long enough, itong si Doc Albert was here so many times, and at one point actually did a fitness demos, or at least told us, or at least revealed his other life as a fitness instructor.
He even, I think, did a lead-in or did an extra for us.
Exactly.
So,
And kayang-kaya niya. Always great talking to him. Of course, a serious topic kasi medyo DOH eh.
Yeah, and
so,
we also
serious
have
topic
an
later.
artist today. I like her outfit. That's all I'm gonna say.
Really?
Yeah, her outfit's very cute. I saw her in the makeup room.
So let's see how that goes, because I haven't actually had a chance to interact with her yet. So we'll see how that will work out. But I'm excited because we're talking about the Pride Art exhibit later on. And of course, we're also going to talk about, are you a blood donor?
Yes, I used to be a blood donor, but then I can't because I don't have, if you guys want to on my hands.
Don't do it direct.
I have no veins. I tried and they said the needle will just collapse and they can't get blood.
Kaya Kaya ayaw sa'yo ni sa Twilight ulit.
Si Vela. Ayaw sa akin si Vela. What happened, Vela? Walang veins.
Walang ugat. Pero you know what? It's going to be interesting kasi later we're going to hear from the Red Cross talk about yung mga bloodletting drive nila. And in general, we do need that supply.
We need it. Makati Med, their lights are up right now. So if anybody's a blood donor or who wants to try it for the first time, I think you guys should definitely head out and try.
Absolutely. We're going to hear more about that later on as well. So, at the moment though, we're fresh off a holiday of Independence Day. Let's see whether or not
I wonder
traffic works out.
if traffic is really bad today or not, or if people are still on vacation. Let's check the situation in major roads at this hour. Now here's what's happening along EDSA Quezon Avenue flyover. On the left side are vehicles going to Quiapo. As you can see, there's barely any traffic right now. On the middle and right lanes are vehicles going to Quezon Memorial Circle. Traffic is still a bit, it's still building up, but it's still pretty loose for a Friday. Now let's take a look at EDSA White Plains. On the left side of your screens are vehicles going to Shaw Boulevard. Traffic is building up a bit there, so if you guys are going towards Shaw Boulevard, make sure to head out right about now. Now on the right side are vehicles going to Cubao. As you can see, traffic is free-flowing. Now heads up to motorists, the expanded vehicle number coding scheme is in full swing. It is a Friday, so vehicles with license plates ending in 9 and 0 should be off the road right about now till 10 a.m. and again from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Now, what's the weather going to be like this Friday? Paolo has today's forecast from Weather HQ. Take it away, Pao.
Thank you so much, Mo. Let's take a look at Auring, because as of 2 a.m. today, Tropical Depression Auring has weakened into a low-pressure area and is now outside the Philippine area of responsibility. Now, according to Pag-asa, it is unlikely to redevelop into a tropical cyclone within the next 24 hours as it moves towards eastern China. However, its trough or the extension will bring cloudy skies and scattered rains and thunderstorms over the Batanes area. Here's a look at Basco with 30 degrees at the high and 25 degrees at a low. This LPA will also enhance the southwest monsoon. Now, this will result in cloudy skies with scattered rains and thunderstorms over the Ilocos region and the Babuyan Islands. Now, the easterlies are also returning. Now, this will bring cloudy skies with scattered rains and thunderstorms over Surigao del Sur and Davao Oriental. Now, partly cloudy to cloudy skies with isolated rain showers or thunderstorms are also expected over Metro Manila and the rest of the country. Pag-asa advises that the easterlies and the intertropical convergence zone right here in the south in eastern Mindanao will bring rainfall to the country in the coming days. So we should all stay alert, especially if you are in these areas. Now, as for our sea conditions, despite all the weather systems here, no gale warning is in place. However, moderate to strong winds are affecting the northern and western parts of northern Luzon. So you can see over here, these are the parts affected. As I move over to the side, para makita nyo. Now, these conditions could lead to moderate to rough sea conditions with waves potentially reaching up to 3.1 meters. Now, small boats are strongly advised to take extra precaution. Now, for the rest of the country, winds remain light to moderate and sea conditions are generally good. Always prioritize safety, stay updated, and monitor the latest weather reports before heading out to sea. But that is it for Weather HQ at the moment. Mo, back to you.
Thank you, Pao, for that weather update. On to our top stories. The lower house stands their ground after the Senate remands the articles of impeachment against Vice President Sara Duterte. In a House resolution, the lower chamber affirms that the complaint is sufficient in form and substance. House Speaker Martin Romualdez said the upper chamber's move is deeply concerning.
These articles were transmitted by the chamber in accordance with the Constitution and with the overwhelming support of 215 members who answered the people's call for accountability. We followed the law, we honored our mandate, and above all, we stood for what the Filipino people deserve.
Caught in a deadlock, the House prosecution team has filed a motion to seek clarification from the Senate.
Senator Joel Villanueva has addressed a viral video showing him seemingly coaching Senator Amy Marcos during a Senate plenary session. In the clip, Villanueva is seen telling Marcos to approach the podium and raise a point of order. This while Senator Risa Ontiveros motioned to take the oath as a senator judge for the impeachment trial of VP Sara. There it is. Now, Villanueva explained Marcos simply asked whether a live motion was being made, and he replied, yes. That's why a point of order can be made. Villanueva clarified such changes are common on the Senate floor. The senator also dismissed claims of bias, saying the video was taken out of context and was being used maliciously. He stressed he would have done the same even if it involved a member of the minority.
A political analyst says that the Senate move to remand the impeachment back to Congress is mostly related to the 2028 elections. Of the 5 senators who voted against the action, Senators Binay, Poe, and Pimentel are not moving on to the 20th Congress. Meanwhile, Senators Risa Hontiveros and Win Gatchalian are at their term limit and cannot run for the Senate in 2028. According to political science professor Eric De Torres, this means they have nothing to lose. Meanwhile, the 18 who voted in favor are likely to run for re-election to the Senate in 2028.
Naglalaro talaga. Iwas pusoy kasi talagang napakasensitibo itong issue na to politically for that matter. Secondly, ang nakakagulat yung overwhelming vote ng 18-5. Nobody would like to really be at the forefront of this issue, especially if you're a re-electionist for 2028.
Two framers of the 1987 Constitution are split on whether the Senate can legally delay the impeachment trial of Vice President Sara Duterte. Attorney Christian Monsod says senators should recuse themselves for allegedly favoring Duterte and claims the remanding of articles is unconstitutional.
Hindi ko maintindihan ng mga galaw ng mga senators na parang ang galaw nila abogado sila ni Vice President. Hindi eh. Who put them in office? The people. They are the people's senators, and it's their obligation to protect the people.
On the other hand, retired Supreme Court Associate Justice Adolfo Azcuna argues the delay is allowed, saying the trial should wait for the 20th Congress to begin. He believes this approach avoids rushing and ensures a single set of senator judges and prosecutors handle the case.
The Senate procedure through the impeachment court has been, I think, in compliance with the provisions of the Constitution because it is aimed at making the trial proceed in the 20th Congress.
With the Senate voting to remand the articles of impeachment back to Congress, there is still an ongoing debate as to whether this is allowed by the Constitution. Currently, attorney Christian Monsod and retired Justice Azcuna, both framers of the 1987 Constitution, have opposite opinions on the Senate's action. Monsod said that the Senate must proceed with the trial, while Azcuna countered that the move is unique but allowable. Now, another constitutional expert shares their opinion on an interview with BNC's Agenda. Attorney Rene Sarmiento says that the move is to remand is indeed permissible.
Ito ba ay pwedeng ibalik sa Kongreso, sa House of Representatives? Sa ngayon po, may jurisdiction po, Corina, ay ang ating Senate. Yan po ang itinakda ng ating saligang batas. Since it has the sole power to try and decide, para sa akin po, pwede pong the situation is permissible to remand. They can act on unique procedures and incidental motions. Para sa akin po, para po ito po ay tuloy-tuloy na at hindi mahinto, hindi umabot sa Korte Suprema, the House of Representatives should act on the two issues raised in the motion to remand. Although, ang masasabi ko po, Corina, with all these incidents going on, developments, the sacred constitutional command, forfeit proceedings should always be in the mind of our senators and congressmen.
Expelled lawmaker Arnie Teves has been transferred from the NBI Detention Center to the Manila City Jail in Camp Bagong Diwa, Taguig. The move follows a Manila court order denying his camp's plea to keep him at the NBI facility. Teves faces multiple charges, including murder. He was deported from Timor-Leste last May, 2 years allegedly after masterminding the assassination of Negros Oriental Governor Roel Digamo. His widow, Congresswoman Janice Digamo, welcomed Teves' jail transfer, saying it sends a clear message that Teves should be treated like any other accused. But Teves' counsel, Attorney Ferdinand Topacio, said the court violated multiple laws in transferring his client. They are looking into legal remedies to return Teves to the NBI detention facility.
The fact that it was Branch 12 who first issued the commitment order and that there is a pending motion there as well as a motion for reconsideration na final namin sa Branch 51 pagkalabas ng order niya should have put Branch 51 on the alert na hindi muna dapat i-implement yung order niya. Ang problema po dyan sa Branch 51, mukhang nagiging sunod-sunuran ang korte doon sa gusto ng private complainant, which should not be the case.
Starting July, consumers can expect cheaper imported premium rice as part of government efforts to control inflation. Agriculture spokesperson Arnel de Mesa says prices may drop from 45 to 43 pesos per kilo, triggering lower prices for other kinds of rice too, such as sulit rice and Rice for All program.
Normally, 1 to 2 pesos ang ibababa. Mga ganong range din. Pag sinimulan mo kasi doon sa MSRP, eventually lahat yun susunod. Hindi pwede kasing nagbago ka doon sa MSRP ng premium imported, yung iba hindi gagalaw.
Meanwhile, the government is set to reimpose a pork price cap in July to help ease the rising cost of meat. Authorities are also studying a possible suspension of a planned biofuel hike to prevent diesel price increases. In world news, over 240 people were killed when an Air India plane bound for London crashed moments after taking off on Thursday. The Boeing 787-8 Dreamliner aircraft carried 230 passengers and 12 crew members. Only one passenger seated next to an emergency exit survived the crash. An Indian press reported several more casualties on the ground where the plane landed. The flight took off from an airport in western India and crashed onto a medical college hostel. Authorities said the aircraft issued a mayday to the air traffic control shortly after taking off. Boeing and Air India said they are willing to cooperate with the investigation. On a Facebook post, President Bongbong Marcos extended condolences to the government of India, the families and loved ones of the victims. In a latest spat between Democrats and Republicans over immigration protests in Los Angeles, Democratic U.S. Senator Alex Padilla was shoved out of a room during a press conference Thursday. The Californian senator wanted to ask Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem a question when he was forced to the ground and handcuffed by security. Noem was speaking in L.A. amid protests against Trump's crackdown on immigrants and his iron fist response to the demonstrations. Authorities accused Padilla of engaging in, quote, disrespectful political theater. Padilla, on the other hand, said he just wanted to ask a question. The incident was not the first time Trump admin officials detained Democratic elected officials. Padilla told the press they will continue to hold the White House accountable.
Now moving on to sports, a no-stop in Filipino tennis star Alex Ayala in the grass courts of the Ilkley Open. The top-seeded Ayala cruised past Swiss qualifier Valentina Reiser to reach the quarterfinals of the Great Britain event. The Rafa Nadal Academy graduate was in total control, wrapping up the match in just 68 minutes. Ayala aims to build momentum on grass ahead of her Wimbledon main draw debut in 3 weeks. Now, from the tennis grass courts to the Taraflex, shock and awe from Alas Pilipinas in the ABC Nations Cup in Hanoi, Vietnam. The Philippines shows no mercy against Kazakhstan to enter the semifinals on Thursday night, winning in straight sets. Bella Belen happened, facing Alas with 16 points, while Eliza Solomon and Angel Canino combined for 26 markers. The Philippines is currently on top in Pool B with a record of 4 wins and a loss. Now in the NBA Finals, the Indiana Pacers rocking and rolling to take the series lead against the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Pacers silenced the Thunder in Game 3 right at home at the Gainbridge Fieldhouse, 116-107. Benedict Mathurin stole the show, exploding for 27 points off the bench, while Tyrese Halliburton nearly had a triple-double of 22 points, 9 rebounds, and 11 assists. The Pacers now lead the championship series 2-1. In an interview on Bilyonaryo News Channel's The Scorecard, basketball analyst Enzo Flojo explains how the Pacers have been flipping the script in the postseason, fueled by doubt and iron will.
Nobody really gave any second thought to the Pacers, no? I mean, up until now, nobody thinks, most people don't think that Halliburton qualifies as a superstar. That's another argument for another day. Yeah. So they've been doubted every single time, and I think that's really fueled this team, no? It's fueled their desire to be able to do well and prove everyone wrong. And so far, they've been able to do that every step of the way.
Game 4 of the finals is scheduled for Saturday, June 14 at 8:30 a.m. Philippine time.
Now in entertainment, Harvey Weinstein gets a mistrial after the jury foreman said they were threatened by another juror. After being convicted of criminal sexual assault, the jury cannot reach a verdict on the remaining rape charge. The mistrial was declared as the jury foreman says they no longer feel safe deliberating, even after returning to court with a security detail. Weinstein's representative says that they believe the conviction will no longer stand due to gross juror misconduct. Now, on the lighter side of things, Dua Lipa is officially engaged. After months of rumors sparked by a dazzling ring spotted on one of her Instagram posts in December, the pop star confirmed to British Vogue that she's set to marry actor Callum Turner. She says Callum had the custom ring designed with help from her best friends and sister, and she's obsessed with it. While there are no wedding plans yet, Dua says they're enjoying this very exciting time together. She admits she never really thought about being a bride until now. In her interview, she says, quote, "This decision to grow old together, to see a life and just be best friends forever, it's a really special feeling." The two were first linked in January 2024. I'm so happy for Dua. I knew she was engaged.
How did you know?
Because it was all over. Like, everybody was speculating, and she's been wearing that big ring on her finger, and I'm like, for sure she's engaged.
So just waiting for the confirmation,
yeah.
right?
So I'm so happy. I love her and
I mean, like,
Callum.
I love her music. I'm not too familiar with Callum, to be quite honest.
He has a great rowing movie. I forgot the name. I will let you know.
Because you're a professional rower.
Not professional. I wanted to be amateur lang.
Amateur. Yeah, I'm pretty good at it, to be fair. But yeah, I mean, like, congratulations to Dua Lipa. And I can't wait to hear the first music from Dua Lipa inspired by all of this.
Actually.
Because that normally happens,
Yeah.
right? Like, it changes some of the music that some artists make. Most famously, Taylor Swift, every time something happens to her.
Yeah, Taylor Swift naman everything.
Yeah,
Literally
everything.
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 But Dua
yeah,
Lipa's on tour, so that's why she can't think about wedding plans.
I gotcha. So that's how it works
Let's
out.
catch her concert.
All right, so let's move on and talk about what happened yesterday, because Independence Day is Filipinos' favorite time of the year to make the occasion an absolute meme fest every year since 2009. Now, users online exhaust their wits to write the most ridiculous crossovers in history. So let's take a look at some of the viral flash fiction entries on this year's hashtag RP612Fic. Now, let's start off with this. A rare photo of a brave Filipina spy successfully infiltrating a Japanese fortress during the Philippine guerrilla resistance of World War II.
This is so funny. Sorry, I couldn't help myself.
No, I get you. The funny thing is,
any of this.
the funny thing is, all they did was turn it black and white,
I know.
right?
It looks legit.
Like insane. I mean, like, it's just look at
That's
that.
hilarious.
Ang galing, in fairness.
They should have taken the motorcycle in the back though, because dapat they made that into a horse.
A
Walang
horse.
motorcycle back in the day.
Or pwede naman tangke, kasi
Pwede.
I mean, like, no, 1900 pala.
Yeah, it should be a horse.
Mali yung okay, the history minor in me is having issues with the year.
Go correct it.
No, kasi kung 1900, wala pa yung Japanese, because it's not World War II. World War II is 1943.
Okay,
42.
Bilyonaryo
Anyway,
quiz, be winner.
all right. No, I wish I was in Bilyonaryo
You
quiz
won
B.
here,
What's up,
remember?
B? Yeah, all right, so here's the next one. A very rare photo of Dr. Jose Rizal's exile in Dagupan writing his letter to his countrymen entitled, Mo, could you do this?
Me ultimi baboosh. Did I say that right?
Yeah, because the real, okay. Because
I
the
don't
real one,
understand
this is
this
McCoy
one.
Dubs with this pic. Because the real one is Mi Ultimo Adios. That's his final goodbye from Jose
okay.
Rizal. So
I do love
Okay.
McCoy Dubs though. He's really funny.
yeah, absolutely. And this just fits. And again, everything in black and white. And and a comment underneath, a rare image of a Katipunero doing his thesis and dissertation. Education's important.
Oy, walang pants si McCoy oh. Naka-big t-shirt lang siya.
How do you know that? Naka-short siya.
I mean, yeah, it just looks, I was like trying to
How
look at the
can you-
photo and then I'm like, oh, my guy's not wearing pants. It's very distracting.
He might be Donald ducking it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just pointing it out.
All right, so here's the next one. I did not need to know that, but here's the next one. The humble beginnings of Jisoo
Oh
life.
my gosh, this is hilarious.
Oh, that's so good.
Yo, but the Pai Pai is still better though. I must say, I am an avid fan of the Pai Pai.
Instead of the mobile electric fans, you're
It's just easier, and I don't know, it's just more compact, I feel like. The mobile fans are so loud. I like the Pamay Pai, and they're prettier.
Moving on, the first version of Shopee during the Spanish era. Yes, I agree.
Aw, but they got it right though with the horse, the Colasa.
I remember seeing in the south in Muntinlupa. I think not too long ago, maybe just 10 years ago, you'd actually still see stuff like that.
I feel like they still
going
have
down
that.
sa Alabang Zapote Road. It was kind of weird
They
for
still
me.
have it in the provinces.
Yeah, in the provinces.
Yeah.
But then I remember seeing it in the metro like maybe
Alabang.
10 years ago, give or take. Yeah,
Should
but
bring it back.
maybe, perhaps. All right, so this RP612 fic is not complete without this iconic entry. Tinawag ni Rizal si Josephine bilang baby girl.
Baby girl.
Baby girl. That's still the greatest one. Like kids and their wrong history.
But they're so creative with it.
So tama to. Kasi
What?
well, you know, in context, like what it means, right? Because
Yeah.
Josephine Bracken and Jose Rizal are, you know,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So tama naman.
Yeah, tama
It's
naman.
just-
Baby girl naman.
It's just our era's term.
Pero what would Jose Rizal say?
I don't know.
Oh my God.
What?
Huh?
What?
Find out. I actually want to know what he would call it. I actually don't
We
know the
should
pet
ask
names.
Maxine.
Actually, we should ask Maxine.
We should.
We should
We'll
bring
get back
back
to you
Maxine
guys.
Cruz, the resident descendant of Jose
Mm-hmm.
Rizal, who guests on this show. Wherever you are, we'll get back to you
We'll
soon.
figure that out. But we have some exciting news because the newest issue of Banquero magazine has hit the stands. In issue 4, volume 2, Banquero takes you into the ways banks and corporates are adopting AI. How do industry players balance trust and technology? And can chatbots be your financial advisor? Those stories and more financial news in this Banquero issue. So make sure to grab your copy now. And it's in
AI.
black and white pa.
AI is ever pang RP fanfiction.
Yeah, because it's in theme.
No,
Oh, it's cool though.
Yeah, it's just so interesting how AI works everywhere. But we are only just days away from the school openings. Now, how are we keeping schools dengue-free? Health Assistant Secretary and Spokesperson Albert Domingo will join us live after the break. It's a beautiful day. We'll be right back. Don't go away. Back, you're still watching It's a Beautiful Day. Now, the health department is sounding the alarm over the increasing HIV cases. They are also making the rounds to keep students safe from dengue and even smoking. With the school opening on Monday, June 16, joining us for this discussion is Health Spokesperson and Assistant Secretary Albert Domingo. It's a beautiful day, ASEC. Thank you so much for joining us on the show. Once again, sana live next time kasi wala si Ann. We need another host.
Good morning, Paolo and Monique. Good morning. It's a beautiful day indeed. And yes, we miss you, Anne. Good morning, everyone.
All right, Doc. We have a lot of serious things to talk about. So let's start off first with the HIV cases because, well, the World Health Organization and UNAIDS supports the call to declare HIV a public health emergency. Now, with that in mind, I'm sure DOH already has certain plans to help address this. But I want to touch on a few facts that have been making the rounds online. Facts or claims, rather, that have been making the rounds online. Saying that the rise in cases here in the Philippines coincides with just better reporting or more tests being done. Is that a fair fact to make? And of course, is that a fair claim to make, rather? And of course, what is being done by DOH to try and work on what the UNAIDS has described as support for this being an emergency?
Yes, so let's talk about the testing. It is true that we have better testing, but the way I would describe this is it's like what we call the flashlight effect. Before, when we say a flashlight effect, imagine there is a dark room with around 100 people inside it. And if you bring in a candle, you only get to see around 3 to 4 people kasi mahina yung candle, so just a small flame. If you bring in a small flashlight, which is probably going to illuminate the room, remember there used to be 100 people, you just saw 3 or 4. A flashlight will allow you to see maybe 10 or 15 because you're using a flashlight. That is called the flashlight effect. However, if you switch on the light in the room, you finally see, oh, there are 100 people inside the room. They've always been there, but just because of better testing or better lighting, so to speak, you get to see all of them. Now, that is true. However, it is also true that the size of the room, in the case of HIV, has been increasing at the same time. So while we switched from a candle to a flashlight to an overhead light, the room also kept on getting bigger. Instead of just having 100 before, there are now 150 and then 200. And then recently, it's around 250,000 people living with HIV. The testing rate has always been hovering around 60 to 70%, at its highest around 68%, Paolo. And that is a problem because how can you get people on treatment if you don't know who to get on treatment? Kasi the second stage after testing would be to get them on treatment. And then the third stage would be to make sure that they are on maintenance. We would like to say in the DOH that HIV nowadays is just like hypertension, diabetes. You just have to get tested, get your blood pressure checked. If you have high blood pressure, someone prescribes an antihypertensive medication, and you just keep maintaining it and you'll be fine.
Doc Albert, that's actually such an interesting analogy to talk about the rise in cases. And like you mentioned, it went up 550% since 2010, actually. Yes. So around 250,000 Filipinos are living with HIV right now. So with that being said, what measures will the department introduce to expand free and accessible HIV testing, particularly among men who have intimate relations with men and young people?
So everyone, Monique, points to stigma, and we do agree. Stigma, which is still prevalent, people not understanding what HIV is. There is still this very old 1980s mentality that it's something to be scared of. No, as we always keep on saying, the technologies, the treatment is much better nowadays, so HIV is no longer a death sentence. It's just like hypertension, it's just like diabetes. You can't treat it outright, we can't get rid of hypertension, but you can control it. I'm one of them since 24, taking losartan. So it's similar to that situation. And to answer your question directly, how do we get testing numbers to increase further beyond the 63 or so percent being tested? In fact, for 2025, it's still low at 55, but we're just halfway through the year. So we want to mainstream testing. Monique, when we say mainstream, ngayon kasi the testing is offered at specific HIV treatment centers. There be a bit of a paradox because you don't want stigma and yet you're asking people to go through centers which are publicly identified as HIV treatment centers. So there's nothing wrong. I salute these centers. I visited quite a few of them and they're doing great. But for the greater majority of the population who might actually not be keen on going there, you have two options. Right now, you have widespread self-testing, which you can buy from the drugstore, from a licensed drugstore. And then what we're planning on doing is to allow testing at all primary care centers, including the DOH Bukas centers, the many rural health centers, and what have you in the private sector.
You mentioned the rural health centers. That actually brings me to my next question, because when we talk about the treatment, when we talk about the rollout of PrEP and PEP in particular, how well equipped are provincial and rural health facilities over in the metro, over in the metro areas in Manila, Cebu, and Davao? They are typically more well equipped, but then when you go to the outskirts, just how well equipped are they to provide services to address HIV?
So the good news when it comes to these, shall we say, drugs and commodities for HIV, they are not temperature sensitive. These are not like vaccines that you need to maintain refrigerated. PrEP is a tablet. Even post-exposure prophylaxis, antiretrovirals, they're all of the same drug class. They're pills that can be stored at room temperature, so that's good. Now, the challenge is how do you offer the counseling? Because you don't just give PrEP left and right, just like vitamins. You have to somehow speak with the patient. You have to check on them. You also have to make sure that there are no other concomitant infections and so on. So I think that's what needs to be built up. Now, it's not hard to do. Any general practitioner can do that. So it's a matter of capacitating. And when it comes to the hospitals, they are very much trained in that. The DOH Bukas centers, which are extensions of the hospitals, can also handle that.
Thank you so much, Doc Albert, for all the HIV info. And I'm sure the stigma will lessen now that we're talking talking more and more about it. But now let's move on to dengue, because with the tag-ulan season right now, it's also Dengue Awareness Month, and cases are rising. It's actually double than 2023. 2,298 dengue cases have been reported in 2024 so far. And Secretary Herbosa actually warned of a potential major outbreak because of the rise in the cases earlier this year. So what steps are you guys taking, the DOH, to ensure that dengue fast lanes in hospitals remain active?
The dengue fast lanes are already at a later stage, meaning if you do have symptoms, yes, we want you to seek early consultation. But Paolo, you have to practice Monique. You have to ask her to say, taob, tak-tak, tuyo, and takip. Repeat, Monique.
Taob, tayo, tak-tak, tike. Oh my gosh, wait, what?
Doc,
Taob,
it's setting her up to fail,
You
Doc.
know what? Last time we interviewed you,
Okay.
you set me up to fail also. Fourth host na talaga.
But I hope this goes viral, because when everyone hears Monique try to say taob, tak-tak, tuyo, takip, that means we're all trying to remind everyone that the prevention starts at making sure the mosquitoes do not spread.
I don't even know what that means.
Wait lang.
Okay,
Let's let Doc finish first. Go ahead, Doc.
Okay, so the taob, tak-tak, tuyo, takip. Taob, you make sure you invert any containers that are capable of gathering water. Tak-tak, paano ba to? How do you say that? Tak-tak, you literally make the sound like a tapping. So if you have
You tap it, you hit it repeatedly.
Yeah, so that it's dry.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then tuyo is dry, and then takip is cover. So that's 4 steps. That's why we did it in Tagalog to make it and then make it catchy. Taob, tak-tak, tuyo, takip, so that we can avoid accumulated water, because the mosquitoes are the vectors of dengue.
We have a new tongue twister
No,
na.
it's tongue twister for you, Mo. Taob,
Taob, tak-tak,
Tak-tak,
takip,
tuyo, tuyo.
Yes,
Okay.
you can invert. That's okay.
Taob, tak-tak,
You got it. You
tuyo.
got it.
She did it.
Takip.
Hindi siya makakadengue.
Very good.
No dengue for Mo.
All right.
I like that. That's the clip right there. No dengue fever. After Mo says taob, tak-tak, tuyo, takip, no dengue fever. There you
Yes,
go.
exactly.
Kung kaya niya, kaya nyo rin.
Ay, gusto ko yan.
Oh my gosh. Doc, when we talk about early warning systems, we did mention it a while ago that because of the spike earlier on in the year, we were all of a sudden had to be prepared almost year round. Is the early spike in terms of like getting our systems in place actually to address dengue more better prepared this year compared to previous years, considering that it feels like we've been dealing with year round and not just here sa tag-ulan season po natin?
Yeah, you're spot on, Paolo. No? So remember when we also, I remember I was guesting also there, and it was the same topic, dengue, at the earlier part of the year. Kasi nga it was raining. And now that we have the real rainy season upon us, I think our ring just exited the Philippine Area of Responsibility from reports.
Yeah.
So we expect more water to accumulate. And to address your earlier question, yes, we may be due for a higher spike this year for the simple reason that there are more children who have not yet been exposed to any of the 4 dengue serotypes. That's the quick explanation on why it is possible to have a higher one. But to your question, Paul, on doing better, our surveillance systems are much better. So if you notice, we are able to track now on a weekly basis or every 2 weeks. And so far, our data shows, fingers crossed, that the numbers are plateauing. It means that during the summer, when it was dry, it was going down. That's good. Now we are seeing a point where the curve suddenly becomes flat, and we're just waiting. We know it will happen. We're just trying to delay it. That's why we're asking Mo to say taob, tak-tak, tuyo, takip. But when the water overwhelms us, you will see that starting to go up. And then that's when the question on the dengue fast lanes comes in.
All right, so because we know it's coming, we have to talk about PhilHealth as well in terms of financial coverage for dengue, because it is an expected rise in cases. Will there be any additional support for outpatient case management to help prevent any complications?
Well, yes. So the amount of dengue coverage package already increased. For the inpatient package, it went up. If I'm not mistaken, it used to be around just 10,000 pesos. It's now 19,500 pesos for for the dengue, which is not severe. The severe one from 16,000 to 47,000. Now, Paolo, you asked the right question. What about outpatient testing? A lot of government centers offer the NS1 tests for free. Those are in public hospitals, public clinics rather.
Yeah.
And the consulta clinics can also do basic blood work, and some of them may have that. Curiously, last night I was in a private drugstore doing shopping for some other medicines. I saw the NS1 test also available, and it's roughly around 300 pesos in the private sector. So even that, you can buy it from a private drugstore at that rate. So it's very much affordable and free, even at government centers. That should allow us to test faster for dengue.
Doc, let's talk about another topic because the reason why we talked about dengue, especially with the schools opening very soon, is because the children would be affected. But interestingly enough, DOH is also pushing for another law that would actually address children's health, that would penalize individuals who bring vapes and cigarettes to schools. Now, the department's advocating for this legislation. What is the impetus for it? What is the reason why the push for this legislation is happening?
So, Pao, logic dictates that if we ban kids from buying vape devices, what stops us from keeping them from bringing it to school? Bawal nga, they're not allowed to buy it, so or more accurately, the law prohibits sellers from selling to minors, which means there is the intention that minors should not have access to these devices. And yet, we see a lot. I'm trying to look for an example of a USB, but the dengue devices now, I see the monitor right now. They look so colorful. They're so small. Even you would mistake that it's an USB. So dapat when we go to school, just like before when cigarettes, diba? I remember when I was a kid, if you try to bring a cigarette, you get called to the prefect of discipline's office because why do you have a cigarette with you? Because it's not allowed. So something similar has to be done because why are we tolerating deadly devices on kids when other devices are kumbaga heavily regulated?
Absolutely. We'll get more updates on that from you, ASEC, as it continues to develop and as it pushes through all of the channels that it needs to push through. But we just want to say, first of all, thank you so much for joining us this morning to talk about HIV, dengue, and of course, this new legislation. But before we let you go, ASEC, we have to go through it again. Could you please coach Mo one more time?
No, you don't need to coach me, ASEC.
Right.
I got it. I've been practicing. That's why I'm quiet.
All right, go.
Are we ready?
All right, go.
All right.
Let's go.
Taob, tak, tuyo, takip.
Very
Right?
good!
Yeah!
Sa taob, taktak, tuyo, at takip, walang dengue.
Walang dengue. So make sure you do all 4 T's. And then don't forget Tuzon.
One more time.
Taob, tak, tuyo, takip, Tuzon. Walang dengue.
Very good.
Oh my gosh. ASEC, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate you. Hopefully, we can have you live in the studio next time. Thank you so much.
Looking forward and good morning, Monique and Pao.
Thanks, ASEC. Now we've got more stories for you after the break. It's a beautiful day. We'll be right back. Hello, welcome back. You're still watching. It's a beautiful day. An ongoing art exhibit puts the spotlight on the LGBTQ plus community this Pride Month. Today, we speak to one of the artists involved in Color Parade, Pride art exhibit that runs until the 24th. Joining us live in the studio is artist Criselda De Leon-Nañola. It's a beautiful day, Miss Criselda.
Good morning. It's a beautiful day.
Good morning. I'm obsessed with your outfit right now, especially your jacket. We'll talk more about that later, but I want to know how you got started, your journey as an artist.
Nag-start ako, I have no idea sa art. Pero alam ko na magaling ako mag-drawing.
Wow! Okay.
Yes.
Confidence is key.
Pero hindi ako lumaki wala akong influence ng art. Because I'm from the remote, I'm from the province. Yeah, they called it linang. Yan.
So, ma'am, sorry, when we take a look, sanabi mo kanina wala kang influence sa art. Pero sino nag-inspire sa'yo para maging artist?
Nung na-discover ng mga teachers ko na I have a talent in drawing, they suggest na kumuha ko ng fine arts in college. Kasi nakikita nila na naandun yung future ko. But then, nasa province pa rin ako, mas kinuha ko I take industrial design.
Okay. So, paano nag-connect yan, yung industrial design at yung artistic pursuits mo?
Yung industrial design, kasama na kasi dun yung bago ka gumawa ng isang produkto, kailangan mo muna siyang i-paint.
You have to draw it. Yeah.
Oo.
You have to draw. So, dun mas lalong nahasa yung kaalaman ko sa art.
Okay.
How would you describe your art style?
It's contemporary.
Okay.
Contemporary. I choose contemporary kasi ito yung makaka-adapt. Ano yung makaka-adapt sa mga bagong artist ngayon at saka yung sorry.
Yeah, no, we're seeing on the screen, we got distracted because you're
Yung
literally...
proseso mo.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
beautiful. Do you normally paint in black and white? Or it's just for this one painting lang?
Iba't ibang
mas
style
color,
siguro.
mas colorful akong gumawa. So, pero I love black and white
Yeah.
also. Pero ang hinahanap kasi sa akin ng tao is colorful, and doon ako nagsimula sa colorful. Yung I love nature kasi, I love flowers,
Yeah.
yung colors nila.
You know, I also want to talk about yung, as we're showing different pieces of art. Kanina sinabi mo that you actually have wearable art as well.
Yes.
And sobrang na-excite si Mo. Kasi
Yeah, let's
basta pwedeng isuot, gusto ni Mo. But then, can you tell us a bit about yung concept na yun, yung wearable art mo?
Kasi ngayon, nauso na din yung mga upcycle.
Yes.
Yes. So, ako nun, fan ako ng upcycle. So, ang ginagawa ko, I buy jackets from ukay.
Yeah.
You know, jackets. Then, marunong akong manahe. So, tinatanggal ko yung arms niya, lalagyan ko ng Filipiniana sleeves. Then, I put some painting and I put some crochet. Kasi I'm also a crochet artist.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Do you have a specific wearable art that we can pull up? Oh, right here. So you hand-painted all of that and added all those details?
That's a painting.
That's a painting talaga.
Kala ko pinaint mo na yung jacket.
Pero pwede, actually.
I don't know. That looks like that would be a cute Filipiniana sleeve.
Okay, yeah, that's true. But of course, Crisel, we're here kasi you're part of an art exhibit that celebrates the LGBTQ plus community. Unang-una, why do you feel it's important to be part of yung exhibit na to? And of course, why, can you tell us a bit about yung mga work mo na naka-exhibit po?
Unang-una, I know their struggles.
Yeah.
I know their feelings. And like a woman, di ba ang woman, lagi nating hinahanap yung woman empowerment. Kailangan naka-level din tayo sa lalaki. Hindi tayo babae lang. Kailangan tayo. Hindi tayo magpailalim sa mga lalaki. Yun yung advocacy ng mga babae na mga strong. So like LGBT, dapat ituring din sila nakapantay. Hindi dahil LGBT sila, tatanggalan mo na sila ng respeto.
And with that being said, how do you see the role of art in playing a role in uplifting the LGBTQ plus community, especially with your exhibit?
Yung sinusupport ko yung kanilang LGBT true colors.
Yung expression nila.
Yes, true colors through my art. I I made, like what I said, na gumagawa ako ng mga wearable art, like rainbow colors. So, they appreciate it and they love it. So, more on mas na-appreciate nila yung trabaho ko at mas lumalapit yung loob nila sa akin dahil alam nila na naiintindihan ko sila. And alam nila na sinusupport ko sila.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing what you're doing.
Parang tinutulungan mo sila para mag-express.
Yes, yes.
Oo. So, how does it feel knowing na yung community na to, ini-embrace nila yung gawa mo?
Natutuwa ako. At the same time, nakita ko sila kung paano din sila magkaisa Kung paano din sila magmahal. Parehas din lang naman. Friends.
Naalala mo po ba yung moment na na-inspire ka talaga sa community nila, sa expression nila? Kasi parang ang lalim ng mga pinaghuhugutan mo when it comes to yung appreciation nila
Nung maliit pa ako, when I was a child, nakita ko, 1980s, nakita ko kung paano sila batuhin. Talagang binabato sila. Kasi hindi sila tanggap ng community.
Right. Have there been any LGBTQ plus personalities or groups that you look up to and that inspire you the most during this time?
Ang nakita ko kasi sa kanila, not personally, minsan umattend ako ng rally.
Yeah.
They love each other. They work as one. Kaya nakita ko, kung i-compare siya sa babae or sa lalaki, tayo may kanya-kanya. Sila talaga, they work as one.
Kakaisa talaga.
Yes.
Of course. Let's talk more about yung exhibit na to because obviously talagang alay ka talaga Just looking at yung mga kwento nyo po and then of course what your work means to them. Let's say pumunta kami sa exhibit. Ano yung ma-expect namin?
Colorful. Like yung pinaglalaban nila na diversity, unity, yung kalinya ng color. And syempre, yung i-appreciate mo sila. Tanggapin mo sila.
And the exhibit runs till the 24th, correct?
Yes.
Can you tell us where and how can we get tickets to go?
It's run from, actually, nag-open siya nung June
6, I
June
believe,
6.
right?
June 6. But actually, the formal opening is June 11.
Okay.
June 11 to June 24. But nag-open siya sa public in June 6. Pero nag-opening siya ng June 11.
And it's running till the 24th?
Yeah, so
Yes,
June
yes.
6 to 24, happy to be, Pride 2025. Nakita natin yung poster po kanina for those who want to go and see it. And of course, for people who want to follow and see more of your work, saan ka mahahanap online?
Meron akong, active ako sa IG, Criselda_Crafteria. And Facebook account, may Criselda De Leon-Nañola. Lahat ng artworks ko, dun yung makikita sa IG and Facebook account.
Oh, I'll definitely give you a follow because I'm so interested in the
And
wearable,
the wearable.
art. Yeah.
And I'll do a bayong bags, because I support the local weavers of Laguna.
Oh, I love stuff like
Yes.
that. That's more in my alley.
Okay, so ito yung mangyayari. Follow ka ni Mo and then after that, magbibili siya ng ng wearable art po and then of course yung mga weaves as well. Maraming salamat. Thank you so much for joining us here today.
Yes,
Thank
thank
you.
po.
That was artist Criselda De Leon-Nañola.
Now we've got more stories for you after the break. It's a beautiful day. We'll be right back. Don't go away. And welcome back. You're still watching It's a Beautiful Day. This is Weather HQ. Now, as we mark World Blood Donor Day on June 14, we honor voluntary donors and highlight the need for safe blood. This year's theme, Give Blood, Give Hope, Together Save Lives, reminds us that each donation can save lives. Joining us via Zoom is Ms. Gwen Pang, the Secretary General of the Philippine Red Cross, to talk about the campaign and how Filipinos can get involved. Magandang umaga po, Ms. Pang. It's a beautiful day. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning, Paolo, and good morning for having us in your program. And advance Happy World Donor Day.
Yes, advance Happy World Donor Day as well. So, Ms. Pang, let's talk about that first, because the significance of World Blood Donor Day, why it remains such a vital observance globally, especially here in the Philippines. Just how much blood do we need? Is there a shortage? And at the same time, just is there too much blood? Is there such thing as too much blood?
No. Okay, thank you, Paolo. Well, World Blood Donor Day is being observed annually every June 14. So it serves as a awareness raising for the public about the need for blood donations, and to also celebrate the efforts of our voluntary blood donors, who we owe so much, because they have given so much of themselves for others may live. So this observation is critical globally, as it emphasizes the importance of blood donation in saving lives and improving health of the people who are in need of blood. Now, in the Philippines, as you have asked, do we have enough blood supply? No. So the WHO, or the World Health Organization, the formula of targeting how much blood do we need per country is 1% of the population. So now we have about 112 million, 215 million population in the country. So that would mean that we need about 1.1 million bags of blood. Philippine Red Cross, as of last year, we have collected over 550,000 bags of blood and benefited over 300,000 patients nationwide. No, it means that this makes the Philippine Red Cross as the main blood source in the country, majority blood source in the country, as a single organization. And the rest of the blood, they come from private hospitals and also our government hospitals. So do we have enough blood? Well, as far as the Philippine Red Cross is concerned, we're trying our best to really supply the blood demand for the country. So, but since we don't have the statistics or data of the entire country as of today, we only have Philippine Red Cross data. So far, we still receive a lot of requests. We receive a lot of requests every day.
Yeah.
And then there are rare blood types that we have to search every day. Dumadami. They're even becoming more and more demand for Rh negative blood type. No, so we have two blood categories. No, we have Rh negative and Rh positive. Both have A, B, and O types.
Yeah.
So the areas in the Philippines, actually the Rh negative blood types. These are most likely are blood types of foreigners, especially Caucasians or of European, Europeans. No, but every day we have been receiving requests for Rh negative blood now.
Really?
It means maybe dumadami na rin ng Rh negative people who have Rh negative blood type in the country, and this is so difficult to find because we only have less than 1% of the population in the Philippines who has Rh negative blood types.
Oh, that's so interesting.
We still need that. And then, of course, whoever is listening and whoever would like to help us campaign for this, we're campaigning to build the roster of our Rh negative blood donors in the country so that we can easily access them in case there's a need for blood. And normally we don't bleed, we don't take blood from the Rh negative donors because we reserve that when when the time will come that we need the blood, because for a conventional way of giving blood, we can only extract once every 3 months from donor. Yeah.
Wow, that is very interesting. Rh negative in particular. You issued the call just now for those Rh negative to be put in the roster. How do they go through that process? And of course, for those who are not Rh negative but do want to give blood, what process can
So-
they go through? And of course, what activities do you have to get people into volunteer?
First, they can actually call our hotline 143 to give us the details that they are Rh negative blood type, and then we put them in our roster. Or number two, they can also go to the nearest Red Cross office in their area. By the way, Paolo, also with dengue cases arising, especially during rainy seasons, blood demand is even more higher, especially for platelet blood components. It is also the same with the patients with having cancer conditions. We are also receiving a lot of requests for patients who are in need of blood that are diagnosed of having cancer, like blood cancers. So we also continue to give them blood, and also those patients who have kidney diseases that need to undergo regular dialysis procedures. So these are, it depends on the season, depends on the situation, but we always in need of blood. And, with the increase in population, increase in the also technology, in the medical sciences, all the more we are seeing the increased need of blood.
Before I move on to talking about the strategy of getting more people in to donate, I want to ask about the health screening process, because not everyone could be donors because of X or Y factors. Can you tell us a bit more about the screening process to ensure that the blood donated is safe and, of course, usable for those who really need it?
Yes. So, what's the process that you have to undertake? Number one, we help prepare the blood donors, who will come for blood donation drive or on their regular blood donation day. So, what we have to remind them is, number one, they have to have the age. It must be they must be 18 to 60 years old or 18 to 65 years old. 18 to 60 years old if they're not a regular blood donor, but 18 to 65 years old if they give blood regularly. That means that it's 3 to 4 times a year that they give blood, or every quarter. So then they qualify to reach until age of 65 years old. Now, can 16 years old give blood? Yes, provided they have parents' consent. So if they have parents' consent, then they can come and give blood. And for minor age group, for 16, you can already give blood for 16 years old. Then, of course, you have to have enough sleep, at least 5 hours. No alcohol drinks, or you have not taken any alcoholic drinks, the day before the donation. And then you have, you can donate even if you're hypertensive or if you have diabetes, provided on that day of donation, your diabetes and hypertension is actually controlled. So if controlled, then you can actually give blood. But for dialysis, for patient with diabetes, if you're already taking insulin, we cannot take blood from you unless kung medication lang, it's okay. And then also before donation, avoid heavy meals.
Yeah.
And then or oily meals. And then that's all. And then the weight, it should be at least 110 pounds for Filipinos. So that is the requirement, So the whole process is very easy. So it's actually almost free checkup for those blood or blood donors, diba? So when they come, we check their health condition. So because only healthy individuals can donate blood. So we check them physically, and then we also have questionnaires for them to answer. We weigh them, we check their hemoglobin, if they can give blood on that day. So hemoglobin is very important because that measures also if you have enough on your blood and that hindi ka puyat. So if we check on your hemoglobin, if it will not float, it's heavy, it will sink, to the bottom of the testing jar that we're using, then you're okay. So that's the only thing. And then you get a free medical checkup. So, and then if in the event, you are tested positive on any of the 5 transmittable diseases, we will notify you. And these are all confidential, these are all handled very, sensitive
Discreetly.
and careful.
Yeah.
discreet and also confidential. So we will notify you, and then you will actually be given a free counseling and also free referral to some of our partner organizations or hospitals.
Ms. Pang, that sounds great, especially the whole free checkup and syempre some people might just be going there to donate blood but then find out that they do have to address a certain issue. So that is obviously going to be a big help. We're running out of time, but very quickly before we go, there are programs being done by the Red Cross, especially for World Blood Donor Day. What effort is there to get more people in to donate?
Well, we always keep a list of our blood donors, voluntary blood donors. This is the best thing in the Philippine Red Cross because we only extract from volunteer blood donors. They're not put under pressure. It is need driven by anyone. It's just from their own personal volition that they really want to give blood voluntarily. That's the beauty of it. No, so. We always cover the different sector in the communities to give blood. And for this World Blood Donor Day, we celebrate it together with with DOH. So actually today, there is a conference in Iloilo that is attended by different blood service practitioners. And tomorrow we will also have a fun run in Iloilo. So they chose Iloilo this year as the venue of choice for the World Blood Donor Day celebration. There's a lot of activities. It depends on the organization.
Okay.
So, but for the Philippine Red Cross, we're doing it actually big time next month in July because the whole month is actually the Blood Donor Month celebration.
Thank you so much, Ms. Pang. Hopefully, we can get more blood donors. And thank you for your time, your insight, and of course, yung commitment po ninyo. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you.
All right, that's it for Weather HQ at the moment. Mo, back to you.
Thanks, Pao. Now we got some more news for you. Power rates dropped for a second straight month this June as Meralco cites lower demand and cheaper supply from the wholesale electricity spot market. Sujin Kim has more.
Consumers will see relief for the second straight month as Meralco cuts its overall electricity rate by 11 centavos per kilowatt hour, driven by a decline in power consumption and cheaper spot market prices. This translates to around 22 to 54 pesos in savings depending on consumption. The main driver, lower demand in May following peak summer consumption in late April, which resulted in lower spot market prices.
Yung demand, ine-expect na natin na bababa from the peaks that we experienced during summer dahil simula na yung tagulan, hindi na ganun kainit, so bababa yung paggamit ng kuryente. So yun, it will tend to push down power prices.
Kasi dahil yung demand bumababa na, normally, yung presyuhan sa merkado hindi na masyadong tumataas. Hindi tulad nung summer months kung saan mataas yung demand, usually ang presyo ay sumusunod, no? We look at the seasonality of consumption. Pag pumasok na yung July hanggang yung bare months, hanggang tumawid na yan sa February, medyo stable na po yung presyuhan at yung supply. And lesser demand simply means there is less pressure for prices to go up.
Despite a slight increase in transmission charges due to ancillary services, the overall rate still declined, offset by the cheaper generation costs. Meanwhile, Meralco's distribution charge remains unchanged since August 2022. Meralco called on qualified customers to enroll in existing subsidy programs, including the Lifeline rate for 4-piece beneficiaries.
We are also encouraging our senior citizens to avail of the SC discount. Ito yung mga kumukonsumo po ay hindi humihigit sa 100 kilowatt hours. Meron din 5% discount po ito on certain components of the electric bill.
Meralco clarified that the program is funded through a cross-subsidy mechanism where non-Lifeline customers shoulder the discounts. With the rainy season in full swing, Meralco said it is prepared for weather-related disruptions and continues to invest in infrastructure to minimize outages.
This is part of our operational capability. Malaking bagay din talaga yung ginagawa naming investments sa aming distribution system, yung improvements para maharap namin yung mga posibilidad na malalakas na bagyo.
Meralco also shared safety reminders to prevent electrical accidents during floods. Sujin Kim, Bilyonaryo News Channel.
Hang tight because we've got more stories for you after the break, plus our horoscope of the day with Master Hans Kua. It's a beautiful day. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. You're still watching It's a Beautiful Day. Is today gonna be your lucky day? Let's find out from our resident morning hype man and feng shui master Hans Kua in our horoscope of the day. Take it away, Master Hans.
Good morning! It's a beautiful day with me, Master Hans Kua. Ito po ang horoscope ngayong Friday, June 13. Para sa mapinanganak ng Year of the Rat, magandang araw to para mag-detox at mag-cleansing. Yellow at 4. Para naman sa Year of the Ox, maglaan ng oras para kay partner. Maliit na effort, may malaking epekto. Pink at 6. Kay Year of the Tiger naman tayo, huwag masyado magpadala sa pressure. Do your best. Brown at 6. Kay Year of the Rabbit naman tayo, huwag magmadali sa pagdedesisyon tungkol sa pera. White at 9. Sa mga Year of the Dragon naman, may isang taong handang tumulong sa'yo. Huwag matakot humingi ng advice. Brown at 7. Sa mga Year of the Snake naman, huwag magpadala sa emosyon, lalo na sa trabaho. Gray at 3. Ito naman kay Year of the Horsey, magkaroon ng sapat na tulog para mas maayos ang katawan. Red at 5. Kay Year of the Ship naman tayo, iwasan ang labis na caffeine, baka makaapekto yan sa energy levels mo. Orange at 1. Sa mga pinanganak ng Year of the Monkey, magandang araw upang mag-collaborate sa mga katrabaho mo. Purple at 6. Kay Year of the Rooster naman, huwag ipagkatiwala ang pera lalo na sa risky investment. White at 2. Kay Year of the Dog naman tayo, may darating na recognition sa trabaho. Keep up the good work. Mustard at 4. Sa Year of the Pig naman tayo, mag-focus sa long-term success. Huwag magmadali. Green at 7. Paalala lang, ito po'y patnubay lamang. Ang tunay na swerte ay nagsisimula sa pagiging totoo. Abangan ang horoscope of the day araw-araw. Dito lang po sa It's a Beautiful Day with me, Master Hans Kua.
Maraming salamat, Master Hans Kua.
I thought you were about to sleep because he said you need more sleep.
I know. I was like, I need more sleep. So I actually thought that I was gonna go in a little yawn there.
I thought you were too. Pero sakto,
Okay,
it's
kasi
the
ganito
weekend.
yung simula ako eh. No? Parang bagong gising.
It's okay.
Yeah, it works. What's yours? Yours yet to be smart with your money.
Something about being smart with my money.
Yeah, avoid risky investments.
Wala na, basta yung money ko after Italy. I have to save up now.
Oh my goodness.
But thank goodness it's the weekend. Do you have any fun plans?
Sleep.
Yeah, right? Master Hans said you have to sleep.
No, sleep for sure. May PBA ako mamaya. And then after the PBA, I'm gonna take a 1-day break and then the PBA ulit ako sa Sunday. So, kaya mamaya manood kayo ng PBA. I'll be doing the second game later. Sorry, self-plug.
Exciting.
I rarely do that. Only Ann does that for her radio show.
For her radio show.
Oo.
It's okay. Anne's not here, so
Anne's not here. So,
yeah,
I'll just plug away. Yeah, but anyway, so catch me mamaya. Catch me later on PBA Rush for the PBA. But
Wala
then,
akong plug. My plug is catch me every day on It's a Beautiful Day.
See you next week
ko.
on It's a Beautiful Day. But that is it for us this Friday, June 13. Ako po si Paolo del Rosario. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a great weekend.
I'm Monique Tuzon. Stay safe and have a great weekend. And I hope you guys get some rest. Join us again Monday at 7 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. only here on
It's a Beautiful Day.